Well everyone, Apple just seeded iOS and iPadOS 27 Developer Beta 4 to test out and try out, and surprisingly, I thought nothing much would change here, but there's a good amount of new features and changes that Apple released compared to Beta 3, so let's break everything down and see exactly if it's worth updating to. Let's get into it. But now before we continue, if you guys do enjoy videos like this one, help us get to 1 million subscribers by the end of the year by hitting that sub button down below, but now let's talk about the first change. Well, alright everyone, here we have it, iOS 27 Developer Beta 4 on my iPhone 17 Pro. We're going to talk about everything that's new with it, but we got to start off with the build number and the build size. So in terms of the build size, we're looking at about 5.24 gigs. So give yourself 7 to 10 gigs of open storage in order to get this installed and installed correctly without having any issues. And in terms of the build number itself, if we go into our settings, scroll down to General, go to the About section, go to the iOS version, you tap in on that. We're on version 24A5390 lowercase f, meaning we are getting closer and closer to the RC edition, but again, we're looking at about early September, maybe late August for the RC, and then finally to the entire public, it'll be released alongside the announcement of the iPhones whenever Apple has their September iPhone event. But that's neither here nor there, and if you do want to try out the public beta, that is now available with public beta 1 now being released and public beta 2 probably releasing next week. And then also, I know somebody's going to ask me in the comments, this is Kyuxu's D5 3-in-1 charger. I have a video on it, I'll link it down below, and I'll link this down below. Probably the best value bang for buck 3-in-1 charger that's out there right now. But let's jump into the first thing because there is a good amount of new things happening with iOS 27 Developer Beta 4. So now since we have a fresh install of the new 27 Beta 4, if you do swipe down, the first time you swipe down to the Spotlight Siri, this is going to be the normal view after you do it the first time, but if we go over to the images, I took a screenshot, you're going to be prompted with this brand new look here. So it says an all new Siri, search for anything or start a conversation with Siri. So it's just prompting people like, hey, if you swipe down, yes, you can use it as a normal Spotlight search, but then also this is a way to invoke Siri and speak to Siri whenever you do need to, which is a nice little add-on to kind of just explain to people what's going on. And then in that same light with Siri, if we go back to our settings, you can see when you first open it up that we are going to be indexing again. So it says optimizing search and Siri. This happens, it's been happening since the first beta, then we had it with beta 3 and now with beta 4. So it says you can use your iPhone as you normally would, indexing improves search starting with your most recent data. It can take a little while, longer charging sessions help indexing go faster. And what I personally think is happening here is that Apple is allowing third-party applications to use app intents and to reach in there. And as more and more third-party applications start to adopt this, again, we're still in the beta program, so a small percentage of applications are probably starting to ramp this up, especially on the third-party front. So that's why I think every new update is indexing more because it's reaching into other applications to see what's going on. And then to continue on with Siri here, this is a big update, especially for the visualization and kind of learning what Siri is, especially if you're kind of new to it. So if we go down into our settings, tap into Siri, we're now starting to get the voices that we were promised early on. So first, the big difference here is that now these are all going to be color coded and there are 7 different ones. You can choose between all 7 of them, which is going to be the first time you can do this, but only the 6th and the 7th one will be customizable from a pace and expressivity standpoint. So again, we're on number 6.
Let's find the right voice for you. I'll practice some things I like to say what you listen. Let me try this one out.
So you can change the pace of it. It really slows it down. You can really understand it. You can change the expressivity. For me, the pace is more tangible, like it's speaking much faster to me than normal. Expressivity is almost like raising the treble up and down. It might change it a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's more so a volume thing, I think, from an expressivity standpoint. So that is something to take into account. And you do have 5 notches for each one of these to kind of play with, and you are limited to those 5 notches, and you do get a little bit of a haptic feedback as well to kind of help you decide that. But again, you have your 6th and 7th voice, which allow you to change the expressivity and the pace. And then you can use these other voices, but again, they're stuck in the middle and it says coming soon. And then another little piece here is that we actually have more accents here. So you have South African, Irish, Indian, British, Australian, and American. So if I want to go here, let's do an Irish one.
The colors of the sky fade.
You can see here that you can actually not change the pace and expressivity. So the only way to do that is if you do go with American. Let's see if we go over here to Australian. Australian has different voice amounts. So each one has a different voice amount, different color coded, and the ability to whether or not change pace and expressivity. So that's something to take into account there. But know that as of right now, the most customizable one is going to be the American version. Another thing that I'm not 100% sure if it's new or not, but if you go down here into responses, spoken responses you can now customize here. You can either have it always silent or speak back for voice input. because I was a little bit confused at first when I would have a voice conversation with Siri. It wouldn't respond to me with voice, it would just respond to me with text. I had it at always silent, but now it'll speak back to you when you do have a conversation like that. Another thing that's actually been fixed here from a bug swatching standpoint is if you swipe down here, if you guys were wondering, with beta 2 and beta 3, we were getting something called the app roulette or the app switcher roulette or the spotlight roulette, which basically when you drag down, you always got 8 applications, normally a good suggested one or your most recently opened. But with beta 3, one of the bugs that was happening is that it would be grayed out. So you wouldn't know which apps. So it would maybe have, of the 8 apps, maybe 3 of them were normally looking, and then the other ones were all grayed out, so you kind of didn't know what you were pressing. The app still worked and they functioned normally, but the app icon in the spotlight search was a little bit broken, but now that's been fixed. Another thing that's been quote unquote fixed is if you remember with beta 3, if you were to swipe down to pull up your control center or swipe down to pull down your notification center, you would get the subject to pop back in before the rest of it would happen. Apparently that was a bug and not a feature, and now that's been removed. Another cool one here is going to be with the app UI when it comes to sharing your data with the health application. So you can see here that this did pop up pretty much right away. I didn't invoke anything. It was just kind of one of those questions every now and then Apple will ask you if you want to continue sharing or how much data you want to continue sharing. It's just a nice little new UI tweak where it says Withings has an ongoing access to your health data. Do you want to continue to allow? Do you want to remove the access? And it just looks a little bit different than it did previously. The next one's going to be in the Find My app. So there is a new splash screen when you open up the Find My app, letting you know some flexible location sharing. So you can share your location for a custom duration or until a set date. And you can also pause the sharing without notifying anybody. I've mentioned that in a recent video. You have a redesigned Apple Watch application as well, and location improvement. So sharing your location will automatically use your Apple Watch, GPS and cellular models when you're away from your iPhone or iPad, which is great to know, especially if you're somebody that goes on those runs on a hot day. And then down here, we got a bunch of new icons for the Find My application. It's kind of got revamped. You have your people, your devices, your items, and then the me. The icons just got a little bit of a facelift here. So again, nothing too functionally different, just something that's new there. And then another thing that's new, again, nothing functionally different, but if you go to your control center, before this, when you were on Wi-Fi, it wouldn't show you how much data you had, or it didn't show you what network you were on, or if you were on 5G or LTE. Now that's persistent in your control center. So when you swipe down to your control center, it'll let you know how much data you have, your carrier of choice, and then of course, whether you're on 5G or 4G or LTE or 3G, maybe even Edge, if you're lucky enough to see that still to this day. And then one last thing that I do want to mention, this is more so for people that are on iOS 26.6 because that's still releasing for iPhones that are not on the beta program. iOS 26.6 is going to start indexing your phone if you have a Siri-enabled iPhone ready to go. So if you're on an iPhone 15 Pro or newer, running iOS 26.6, it's going to start to index things. So when you do install iOS 27 in September, it'll be much quicker and it doesn't need to index quite as long. So that's always good to know that Apple's being a little bit more proactive for you. But again, this is only going to be for iPhones that currently have the ability to use Siri or will have the ability to use Siri moving forward. And then lastly, I do want to kind of touch on battery life because I will say, and this is no detriment to Apple, again, I'm on the beta program, install your own risk. My battery life on my iPhone 17 Pro has been pretty atrocious. I have to charge it multiple times a day to get through the day. Again, I'm a heavy phone user, but look at this. On a day like Wednesday, if you go to view all battery usage, day like Wednesday, 136% battery. I had to charge it twice during the day to get 9 hours and 15 minutes of screen on time. On a day like Friday, 126%, 133%. So I do need to go and charge my phone actively and remember to do that, which is kind of unfortunate. But again, it comes with the territory of installing a beta and constantly being on your phone for work or pleasure or whatever the case may be. But again, battery life on my 17 Pro, which is a smaller battery, has not been great during the beta program. But that's the one kind of negative of installing it. Otherwise, it's been extremely stable and I would recommend it to anybody who wants to take the plunge. But that's everything that's new. Let's finish up the video. So as you guys saw, there's a good amount of quality of life improvements here, and this was pretty much all about Siri and kind of getting it ready to go for when iOS does release to the public come September. And for the public beta standpoint, we should be getting this version, which is beta 4, the developer version, and that'll turn into the public version probably next week, and it'll be iOS 27 public beta 2. So stay tuned, definitely get subscribed to watch more of this stuff as it unfolds, because I'm very excited to see how Apple really unfolds, and once it gets to the masses, how much better it's going to be overall. But that'll do it, everybody. If you didn't make it to the end, leave a little dolphin in the comments down below so I know you made it to the end, and leave some questions down below about what you want to see next out of iOS 27 and whether or not you guys are using it currently. So that'll do it, everybody. If you want to watch more videos like this one, like some of the non-Siri related iOS 27 features, click on one of these videos right here. Until next time, peace.